Hello, everyone. It's Karissa from Shining Light on Minnesota. I'm extremely excited today. I know you have seen Barb on my podcast before, but we have another special guest with us today, Bob. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks so much. It's so fun to be here.
Yes. So for the people that didn't catch the first segment, let's talk a little bit about Henricksen, but let's go a little bit deeper. Today we're going to talk about the wall systems, which is super exciting.
Yes.
So let's start by, how did Henricksen get into the wall business?
You might have a little bit more history on that, Bob. I know that we started out with we lead with Allsteel, and so
Yes.
our wall products are through our manufacturer, Allsteel. And we had Beyond, which is a unitized wall system, demountable, reconfigurable. And then we also have our Aspect product, which is a glass front system, and we have just launched a new product called Dimension, which is also a glass front system. Both are stick built.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's true. As we're Allsteel's largest furniture dealer, and so therefore, when walls start coming out and being more prevalent in the marketplace, we wanted to be able to have that solution for our clients,
Yeah.
since we are trying to solution the whole workspace. So it was a natural fit for us to bring it forward into the dealership and the offerings.
Amazing. So let's get into a little bit, how do acoustics play into everyday life with wall systems?
Oh, that's a big one. So we are seeing more and more spaces where people are collaborating, and they have open workspaces. So it's really important to make sure that we're planning for privacy as well, and good acoustics. So acoustics aren't just deadening the noise.
Yep.
It's having the right amount of noise in a space, because I think we've all gone into spaces where it's too quiet
Yes.
as well.
Yep.
So acoustics is a pretty well-rounded topic, and that's why we wanted to discuss it today. But with those collaboration spaces, and there's less and less of the big CEO office right at the corner
Correct.
of
Yep.
the floor plan, and it's become more collaboration, huddle room,
Yeah.
and open spaces. Acoustics are becoming more of an issue, or
Yeah.
more of a hot topic.
Yes.
No, I love that. I think you're absolutely right, Barbara. And we're just seeing that everyone's doing it differently, right? Whether it's generationally working or whether it's different neighborhoods and spaces.
Yep.
Yeah.
So some people have to focus and they need their quiet space, and some people need to get together and do other things and really
Yeah.
huddle. So the workspace has really been really dynamic over the last 6-7 years, especially, and so that's where we're seeing the acoustics really start to matter.
Amazing, because I'm noticing that a lot with when you go into HubSpot spaces and people are only working part-time. They want to still have an office and they want to have the silence, but they want to also have it for other people that come in too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny that, Bob, you mentioned the generational thing, because we also see the folks that do better with a high energy space, that have, earplugs in when they're working because they need that noise. They thrive off that noise
Yep.
when they're working. And then there's the folks that need absolute silence. So.
Yeah. How does that all tie into wellness for people, do you think?
Well, noise is a big thing. So if you have a space where you are hearing everyone's conversations all the time, you're being distracted, not only does it cut down on the efficiency of people's work, but it also creates stress. So that's a
Very
big
much
one
so,
in
yeah.
the mental health. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's the number one complaint now. Noise is now the office number one complaint nationally of what's happening.
Yep.
And again, we're trying to do many different things in the same spaces, and those spaces have gotten smaller since COVID.
Yep.
And
for
so
sure.
they're now trying to figure out how do we manage every piece of that.
And you guys, I know, Bob, you cover nationally. What are you seeing nationwide? Are you kind of seeing the same wants and needs that we're seeing here in Minnesota?
I think so. As Barb and I talk every day, and it's really fun to be sort of a national company, because we do check in with Tennessee and DC and
Yeah.
Philadelphia and New York and Chicago. So it's really interesting. So Barbara at a glance can grab anyone she needs to see what's happening.
For sure.
But we are seeing it. We are seeing smaller spaces. We are seeing that everything on the floor plate has to be earned. It's no longer just thrown out there. So every space is fought over and decided what works for that client, and how do you build a stronger culture for that. It's almost all culture driven now nationally. So it's almost, how do we build stronger culture? How do we work, and what do we need for those things?
Yeah. How do we design for that?
Yeah.
Right?
And then how do we bring those solutions to help? No one wakes up in the morning and says, I need walls, or
No,
I need
right.
something, right? Or I need film, or
Yep,
I need
right,
whatever,
yeah.
right? They wake up and says, I've got a problem. I've got
Yep.
5-person teams, and
You can
they've
be
got
the
to be able to
solution to the
collaborate.
problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
and how do we solve for those things?
Yeah.
And what we're finding is that with the wall solution, it's actually a better STC sometimes than a JIP conventional office,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
How do you guys compare to some of the other companies? I mean, I know you guys have the acoustical aspect to it where a lot of them are just pop in, they're going to get them done, they're going to have the temporary walls, and there's no soundproof barrier or anything like that. Do you guys have glass and things like that that are on top of them and different parts that you can add in?
Absolutely. So we have different thicknesses of glass.
Yeah.
There's tempered versus laminate glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then there's solid panel walls too, and some of the solid panel walls have fabric on them that absorb sound. So there's a lot of different variations of walls.
Yeah, and I think the idea is to get the right wall to the right person.
Correct.
Right. We have all done the wrong thing, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
we missed here, right?
You have to
Whatever
know
that
the
is.
customer.
So you really have to understand what that looks like. So yeah, so I think there's lots of choices all the way up to double glazing to all kinds of stuff that we will solution with them.
Amazing. So Barb, what are you seeing? I know we talked nationally briefly with him. What are you seeing here in the Twin Cities? Do you think that more people are coming back to the wall systems, or do you think that they're kind
Absolutely.
of and adding
Absolutely.
furniture in too and all of that?
It's such a better acoustical solution to have the walls, and so like Bob mentioned, we have double glazed walls, and
Yeah.
those can go up to a 46 STC, which if you look on an STC chart, the that's as good as like a CMU wall, like
Yeah.
the thick
Oh, yeah.
concrete
Yep.
block walls. So it really is, and aesthetically it's beautiful, right? So
It
if you
is.
can get that look of a glass office with the same STC as a
Yeah.
CMU block wall,
Right.
why not do that?
Well, it's not one of those things I'm going to wake up and be like, I want to put up a big block wall. Like you
Yeah,
want to make it
right.
warm and welcoming for everybody, right? I mean, with the mental health, everything going on these days, you need to have something that still makes people feel welcome.
And people want the light in, right? Like,
Yeah.
so they want to see the sunlight
Yep.
stuff.
They don't want to just have the plain cubicles that they used to
Yeah,
have where they're blocked in and can't see anything.
And I was just listening to a woman who I love in the Workspace piece, Amanda Schneider, and she was talking about, the generational difference, and the younger generation is talking much more about like, we want to be involved in all the decisions, even though they've just arrived, and that sort of
Right.
piece. But glass walls help with that because you can see your leaders, you can see pieces, and you feel more included, and so those pieces are happening at all different types of levels.
Yeah, it sounds like it kind of bridges the gap too. So
Right.
It does.
between different generations, the ones that want to have the walls still have them, but the ones that don't really have that openness.
Because visual privacy is different than acoustical privacy,
Yes.
right? And sometimes people confuse the two.
Yep.
So, like Bob was saying, with the younger generation, they may want to visibly be able to see folks,
Yeah.
but still want that acoustical privacy.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, no, it's important. And I mean, even the ones that want to visually see things, there's parts of the walls that you don't want to see too. You don't need to see the floor and what they have, all the bags and things
Yeah.
down there too. So all the different options. How do you guys know what the best product is for a customer when they come in?
So I believe it starts at design, right?
yeah.
And so it's really designing those spaces for, like Bob had mentioned, a specific client or customer. And so we work with the design people at the A&D firms.
Yep.
We love to get in at that point when they're designing the space so that we can help with that solution. And then we get to know the client and we ask what their acoustical needs are. It can be different, right? It can
Right.
be somebody who just sits in an office and needs focus and to work, or it could be for confidentiality.
Yep,
So in
absolutely.
an HR office or a CEO who wants to have private conversations. So it's getting to know all of those details about your client, and then we have a great design team
Mm-hmm.
that is specific to walls. And here in Minnesota, we have an in-house designer that focuses on walls.
Nice.
And so we have a lot of design calls, and we work with the client to see what those needs are, and then we design to that.
Amazing. How do you prove to the customer, show to the customer the different acoustical levels?
So, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So, our
We're getting a
walls-
little technical now.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Yep.
No, our walls have been tested in the lab through Allsteel. They do a really great job of testing that before the product is released. So we are able to provide that information. So we know that, on a double pane system with a 1/2-inch sheet of glass and a 3/8-inch sheet of glass, you're going to get up to a 46 STC. So we already know that out of the gate.
Nice.
So that is how we know what we're recommending.
Amazing.
And I think one thing you bring to the table too, Barbara, is you can have a great glass wall, and then if you have a different styles of doors, do different things with acoustics
Yes.
as
Yeah,
well,
true.
right? So what Barbara's really able to do with this design team behind her is go like, ooh, I know you think that's beautiful. Now let's
Right.
choose aesthetics
Yep.
over functionality.
But let's do what you need now. Yes.
Yeah, like
yep.
let's do both and let's see where we can land that. And
Work
so then
with
they
them to
become,
help them.
yeah,
Yeah.
they becomes choices. Like we can read, STC ratings all day, and
Absolutely.
we do.
And
but
people
at the
won't
end of the
understand what
day,
those are, won't get them or know them. Yes.
At the end of the day, Barbara's going to bring them into the Minneapolis, showroom and
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, test this store. Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Test this office, or does this feel right? What you need?"
Yeah.
We call it kicking the tires.
Absolutely. And we do that a lot, I'm sure. Yes. Yeah. So when you guys are nationwide, when you have customers that are offsite, how do you reach them and what's the easiest way for you to get out there?
Yeah, so it's the same thing that happens
Yeah.
for us. We are still working a lot through designers and being their support team.
Okay.
I think Barb made a great point. Our little secret is we've got 7 designers and 7 project managers
Here's my
that
army
go all
behind me.
over the
Yeah.
place. And in Minneapolis, it's great because one of the designers literally sits next to Barbara.
Amazing.
Every day.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, so they literally are talking all day over the fence, which is great. But we have lots of national clients, and we're all over the place with them. And we will have our PMs, our project managers, travel
Nice,
to make
okay.
sure things are happening, or doing test fits. We also have a whole network of certified installers.
Yeah.
So no matter where we go, we have people covering all the areas. I mean, we were in Halifax, Canada, and we were
Yeah.
doing the same sort of thing. So it almost doesn't matter where we are; we can reach them and have that national scope if that's needed.
So you are that official one-stop shop from furniture to the walls to the designers to installers, everything like that.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
we can do the whole thing for them, and it is just one stop. And
Amazing. I think that takes a lot off the load of contractors and architects and
Absolutely.
everything like that. Yeah, they don't have
Yeah.
to source everything out and worry about the markup and everything
we
else.
love it because it helps us with our risk, right? Like
Yes.
someone has to own it, right?
Right.
And so Barbara owns it, right?
I'm
Like
the
she's
umbrella,
like-
everybody else works underneath me and we'll get it figured out.
Everyone calls Barbara, and then designers and general contractors and clients can go do what they're good at, right?
Yes,
Like
yep.
she's got all that.
You stay in your
expertise to
lane, I'll
run
stay
it.
in mine.
Yeah, yeah.
You reduce the number of trade partners that you have on your job site.
Absolutely.
Right? And when you have so many trade partners touching one thing,
Mm-hmm.
you tend to get, when something goes wrong, and inevitably sometimes there will be something
Oh,
that
yes.
goes wrong.
Yep.
Everybody likes to point the finger that it was the other contractor,
It's
right?
not me, it was someone else. Yep.
So one-stop shop is
Nice.
ideal.
Yes. And you've had experience before, obviously, in the construction world, so you kind of have a little bit more of an understanding than other people do that are coming into it. It's nice for contractors too to have that just one person they can go to instead of I'm gonna have this sub here and that sub there, and you're gonna have to use a lift here. You're gonna have to figure that out there. Everybody wins together.
Yeah. Because that coordination piece can also leave gaps, right? And disconnects, and that's where problems happen.
Yeah. What are you seeing more frequently in nationally versus locally in the design world for what people are wanting?
Well,
Has it changed in the last few months or year?
I mean, there are some easy ones that, on the West Coast,
Yeah.
there's, seismic bracing
Yep.
that they deal with because of the earthquakes and movement of the floor plate. In Minnesota, I would say in centrally, it's pretty much the same, pretty consistent. Yeah.
I see the struggle to me, the conversations for the design team, for all of us to dig into is, what is your space and what size, especially around the huddle rooms, conference rooms. We used to all put in these 10 and 20 person conference rooms and 2 people sit in them. And they have
Right.
figured out that if we're earning spaces, what do they have to look like? And
Yeah.
and how does the technology fit into that? So it's that sort of whole contraption that fits around whatever your mission of your company is and what your
Absolutely.
culture is, and how do you work together? And some people are all team based.
Yeah.
We have one very, very large company that we do work nationally with that literally builds everything's on a 4-8-12 scale, meaning everything is either 4-8 or 12. And
Oh,
so
boy.
they build everything because they are constantly moving their project teams
Yeah.
around. So they literally, and they go, this project is done, us 3 are done, we now have a 6-person team, and they move 4 walls,
Yep.
boom, and they're up and running the next weekend with it.
That's a great question because I was going to ask about how you accommodate when more people come in, if people are coming back to work versus they weren't there before. So that kind of ties into that.
It really does assist the programming, right? So with our Beyond Walls, the reconfigurability of those walls is amazing for that. It's
Yeah.
an amazing solution because if, like Bob was saying, if you have this huge conference room and you no longer need that, you can
Right.
make it into 3 huddle rooms.
Yep.
And so it's just evolving and living in, we call it living in beta, where
Yeah.
you're always evolving to fit the client's needs. And that product is great for that.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. I am based out of Philadelphia, and in our office, even us who do it every day, all day,
Yeah.
we had a conference room that we built, and we didn't want to put doors on it. It was
Right.
supposed to be open and flowing, and we
Yeah.
thought it was the greatest thing, and it looked great on paper, and we loved when we built it. And 4 months in, we realized we were 20 feet from our all-day cafe, and it was
Yep.
noisy, and we needed
The
doors.
usability.
And then, boom, we ordered doors, and they were in. There wasn't a big construction project, and it's all good again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that beta piece that's so important.
Yeah.
Well, it also sounds like it's important to keep your customer base on first and foremost, so they always know what's ever changing and going on with you, because they change every day. Their minds change, what they need, what they want, everything like that.
Yeah. And two of the products that we have are really nice because they're compatible together.
Nice.
So if you want to have, say, dividing partitions that have whiteboards and fabric panel for sound absorption, you can do that on
Yep.
those demising partitions. And then you can do a beautiful double pane glass front with our Dimension product in the front. So it's nice to be able to have that reconfigurable, being able to reconfigure those beyond walls, but also have the STC of that 46
Yeah.
for the double pane glass system as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's how do you stay, and we stay close to designers all day, every day. That's what
Absolutely.
we do.
Yeah.
And we're staying really close to the trades and the GCs because they have, general contractors get handed plans and go build.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
are staying really close to them. They're feeling like, what do they need and how do they need it?
Right.
So when Dimension was launched, one of the things they really wanted was to have a little better tolerance in it.
Yes.
Meaning so they could help go with
Yeah.
floors and stuff like that. So, we're sort of listening and learning all the time. And
Yep.
Allsteel is our main partner. I've always said they are rarely first to the market with a new innovative idea.
Amazing.
But when they come fully loaded and ready to go.
We're ready.
And so
Here's
it's
our
really-
people.
Yeah, which is much. I like living in that space. I like
Yeah.
living in a
Yes.
solution we know is going to work, and
Yep.
not like here's an idea, like squirrel.
We're going to
that's
just try
really-
it, and it's first sector out, and we're going to just hope it works.
Yeah.
Yep. Say yes and try it and figure it out. What do you think's coming in the future for the wall system, or what do you think has evolved in the last few months?
Well, we see some curved glass in
Yeah.
the market. Double pane was something that we solutioned for. So curved glass is a big one. What do you see, Bob?
So, yeah, another one that they've just put on, which I think is great, is we can now match hardware with paint colors or stains with the furniture. So there's sort of these very subtle ways the furniture and walls can now start working together.
Yeah.
And then we see some other stuff that are bells and whistles that we'll see. There's some new paint trims that are coming out. So if it's a powder coating to the aluminum trim, it can look like wood now, not just different colors. There's a lot of custom stuff. And I'm seeing a whole lot sort of in the graphics piece, sort of back
Yep.
to what you do. Like
Yep.
it's people are
Absolutely.
sort of saying like, we're going to be the blank slate. Let's go to, Sun Control.
Let's
be
make
like,
it
let's,
work.
Let's
Yes.
go pop with the culture, pop with the signage and branding piece.
How are the walls, if someone wants to change their furniture, how easily are the walls to be interchanged? Like, let's say they want to try a different type of color. Like, they painted their walls, they were white, now they want to go with a tan or a gray, and they want to make their walls interchangeable. Are you guys able to come in and rechange them out for them then, too?
Well,
Or do you make it more
we're
neutral?
able to so with the Beyond product, we can pop tiles on and off. So
Nice.
if they started with a monolithic steel
Yes.
product, we can put fabric tiles on there, so
Amazing.
you can do different finishes, which
Yep.
is really nice, and it's easy.
Yeah,
right.
very
And
easy.
Everyone likes to hit the easy button.
Yeah, right.
So and it's quick.
Yep.
So yes, we can change finishes, and compatibility with the furniture is great because we can connect directly to our furniture, and we also have a millwork fabricator that provides millwork that can connect to our walls as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, I think you're right. I think those are the big pieces. I think by doing the work up front,
Yes.
by listening and doing those pieces we've
Yeah.
talked about, we realize that 90% of our clients aren't going to change the general office front glass to it. It'll be the stuff
No,
inside
right.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And so
Yep.
that will be the piece. But if we're not doing that work up front, we will
Right.
build something in the wrong spot,
Yeah.
and that is important for us.
Or if
Which
tenant
is why
improvement comes in, or there's some big thing like COVID all over again that
Yeah.
has to come in, and then you can change
Sure.
it that way.
I'm glad you mentioned that because with reconfiguring the walls, you really want to make sure that you do that up front.
Yeah.
You know that, you plan for it, you design for it. So if you are going to reconfigure walls, you want to make sure that you have the same panel widths and very similar door widths. and
Yes, that's
same
a great
hardware.
idea, yep.
So you really effectively you're creating a kit of parts.
Yep.
And that way, we have a really large client that took their headquarters and moved it to Wisconsin, and they're taking all of their walls with them.
Okay.
And so because they've designed and planned for that, they now only have to buy a very little amount of material
easy,
to
yeah.
reconfigure their product.
Yep.
And
What a
build it in
great
new space.
sustainability story too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, which is
True.
becoming more and
Yeah.
more important every day.
And then you guys get to hear and see the next generation, the next location, and kind of just grow with them there and keep building out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially, I'm glad you brought up sustainability because I believe I heard a statistic, it's 5 billion pounds of trash or debris that's thrown away just from office waste.
Crazy.
And so the fact that you don't have to break down the gyp walls and throw them in a dumpster,
Yep.
and you can actually reuse them in another space is really great for our.
Well, and people don't think about that. They think,
Ecosystem.
okay, it's here. I'm just going to be done with it when I move and get some new ones there. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the sustainability and moving process, do they move them themselves and you guys can come in and install them back? Or do they have someone locally that installs them, or how does that work?
So we have our install team,
Yeah.
and they're certified. So as far as logistically moving them,
Right.
they can do that. We would come in and we would catalog.
We can
and,
reinstall and
right, and
resurface. Yep.
take down the walls and then move them and then reinstall someplace else.
Nice. Amazing.
And we can then, if we're involved in that piece, we then can also work through the design, as Barb was talking about.
Yes.
And then we can be like, okay, everything fits except for these two pieces. Let's get those ordered for you so you're ready to go when you arrive.
Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah, so we can
And who knows what everybody talks about lighting. That's a big thing with how dark it is in one place versus another and the color and things like that. How do you guys accommodate to the lighting? I mean, if they're moving from Minnesota to Wisconsin, let's say it's an all dark room, do you get them then more glass panels? Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can change out a solid panel with a frameless glass panel,
Nice.
right? And change some of those finish colors like Bob was mentioning.
Yeah.
And that's going to make a huge impact on how bright a space is because that is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen any thing other than, obviously we've talked about COVID, but any other major things that are coming up that you guys are excited for or that have changed in your industry? I mean, you've talked about the curved glass, but where people are going to need it more, things like that.
Well, I would say that we see in the market demountable walls and glass walls, stick-built glass fronts being used more and more.
Yeah.
In spaces, so that's exciting for us, and the better the features that come out, and
Yep.
the more variety
Technology,
of
too.
options
Yep.
and technology. Yep. So we can put modular power in our panels in the
Oh,
Beyond
nice.
product.
Yep.
So it's very similar to a workstation, and then we can also make it ready for technology as well.
Yes.
And I think there's a whole prefabrication piece that's happening in the construction world
Yep.
too. Like, I just watched a college go up, and it was a dorm, and they literally
Yeah.
stacked them up like it was. They almost stacking rooms up that were totally pre-made in factory and bringing it to
Yeah.
the piece.
Yep.
And we certainly have walls that do that, but to your point, we're seeing it more and more in electric and millwork and all kinds of places.
Usability
Modular.
is modular. Yep.
Well, and
Let's stack.
so much, on the client side, there's so much around the return on investment and what their deal is in their space. So if stuff can be made off-site and then they sign their lease and they start paying,
Yep.
we can get them in, and there's now a lot of prefabrication pieces that can get them in and going quickly.
Yeah.
So they're in 1 month instead of 3 months of construction, right?
Yes.
And
Amazing. That's what I was going to
So,
ask.
yeah.
How long
Schedule
is the process, and
compression.
how does that all work from start to finish?
Well, it's great that we manufacture all of our wall products stateside,
Nice.
right in Muscatine, Iowa. So
So you don't have to wait for the ships to come in and have them be stuck out on sea.
it's not our
if you go to
country.
COVID, right? Like,
Right.
I have to admit, I barely knew what Muscatine, Iowa was.
Okay.
Right,
And
right,
then
right.
during COVID, Muscatine never shut down. So
Right.
we were one of the few manufacturers that were able to produce and continue working through.
But you
during
need
the
to keep people
pandemic.
6 feet apart and all that
Yeah,
too.
so
Yes.
it's super important, and they were able to do it in Iowa. So it was great. So yeah. But,
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, and it cuts down on those lead times. And
Mm-hmm.
so schedule compression is one of my favorite topics because being that I have a construction background, I know exactly how long it takes
Yep.
to build offices and
Right.
conference rooms in a space. And I also know exactly how many trades it takes.
Right.
So the fact that when I was in Iowa for my training and I saw 3 Beyond offices installed in 8 hours, that's amazing.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. Yeah, it's not I have the sheetrock coming today, the taper coming then the painter, and then I have
Gotta
this
wait
and
for
the
mud
glass
to
house,
dry,
and yep,
and then
yep,
it's got to be painted,
Yep.
and then you got to have cleanup afterwards.
yep.
I mean, I always like to say that walls aren't furniture, but they're just as straightforward, just as clean
Yes.
and easy as furniture.
Well, and
is.
it's user friendly, so anybody that wants anything, it sounds like you guys can get it in, from the technology to
Mm-hmm.
the whiteboards to the cloth to just the steel to the glass to a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a really interesting play around some of our competitors will bring trim in, then measure glass, and then bring that in 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And that works for some scenarios, but we like sort of having it all arrive at once,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
then go at 250 linear feet a week. You know, that type of
Which
thing.
makes
and
sense
getting
because
it
it's
in.
all there, you're ready, let's
And
just
it's
do
not
this
getting
now.
banged up by other trades and that
Yep.
kind of piece. Like, it's a finishing piece, so we really like having it come together. And
Amazing.
we can work backwards off someone's schedule to make sure we're, that's what Barbara does all day, is making sure we're getting stuff ordered on time, so
Yep.
they get it.
Well, I think a big thing for people to understand too, when you work with someone like you guys are, you have to get the design set first. And that's usually the longest period. Like, what's it going to look like? How's it going to look like? Yeah, they have to visually see it and understand it before everything starts. And then it's free flowing from there.
Yeah.
And I think you said this earlier, we love getting involved in early in that piece. So
Yeah.
we are sort of the back room for the design firms to
Yep.
help them understand the options. Our team does a lot of live design, meaning we're getting our clients on and saying, do you like this?
Yeah.
We're sort of seeing stuff live and virtually. We have great renderings for people to look at. So there's lots of ways early on they can start getting
Well,
an
the
idea.
architects too. Let's get it on the plan so we're already there. We're
Yeah.
coming in. Let's just make it work now. Yeah.
And then how does it connect to everything else,
Yeah.
right, that you're
Well,
doing?
and what's great too is that we provide shops and we provide drawings.
Nice.
So up front, you can see with your pricing what that product is going to look like in your
Perfect.
space.
Yep.
And for the A&D firms, it's nice for them because Allsteel will help write the specifications,
Nice. Yep.
provide the details,
Yep.
and then we send that to the A&D firm and they cut and paste and drop
Yep.
into their
It's
drawings.
so much easier than them trying to have to do it. And how do I write this up? And what do I do? And all of that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we demystify
Absolutely.
that piece of it, which
Yeah.
is really nice for them.
Do you work with A&D firms nationwide, or do you keep the same ones that go with you everywhere? Do you usually try?
Oh, nationwide, yeah. We work with a huge amount of A&D firms, both in the local market, but also nationally.
Yeah.
So Bob could be working with an A&D firm, and I have different contacts maybe with that same firm.
Yep.
But there's a number of them that are national that we work with, yeah.
Amazing.
And I love, I'm partial too. Like I work with a lot of national folks, and that's great.
Yeah.
The smaller ones are the ones that really need some of that extra punch that we
Yes.
can bring to them
Yep.
too. So we love the 20-person architectural firm. I do at least.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I
right.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like you can get in and you can really help them see stuff.
When
and
they get excited, you can see them really like, here's the kick, here's everything that we can do, and they're like, oh wow, this makes
Yeah.
my job a whole lot
Every
easier.
project's
we
an
can-
important
yeah.
project.
Absolutely.
And we can bring resources to them and help them, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
Yeah.
Because the poor design firms, they're bidding work too, and they don't have enough design hours, and so there's a whole piece to
And
that.
they want their
that-
handheld, they just don't quite get it, and they want to
Yeah.
understand
And we
and
can sort
be
of-
that one-stop shop. Yeah.
Right.
Are your installers certified for both the walls and the glass, or do you have different installers for different ones?
It's certified for the whole system.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I backtracking, I do love the piece that Bob had mentioned where the product all comes together.
Yeah.
Because I have been on a project where the product was delivered in pieces like
That's
Bob
the
had
hardest
mentioned,
thing. Yep.
Right?
It's like, here's another 5 weeks till the glass comes in, and then here's the hardware, and you can't.
when you
get
think about the
everything
cost too.
Yeah.
So you're unloading and staging
Yep.
product, right? And you're waiting for the glass to come or you're waiting for certain pieces of trim to come.
Yeah.
That's not really a true lead time.
No. Right.
If you tell them it's going to be there in 8 weeks, it's
Yep.
there in 8 weeks, the
Yep.
entire system. And then our
That way, it
install-
gives them all time to get there and have all that instead of here's 2 weeks. It'll be here in 2 weeks. Okay. Well, that's just the glass, and then
Yeah.
you have the sides. Yeah.
And nothing happens good with glass if it's sitting in a corner.
No.
Nothing
Nope,
ever.
not at all.
There's nothing that can happen that's good. It needs
No,
to be up
right.
and in. When it
Yep.
comes, it's got to get up and in.
It's
Yeah.
up and in, and hopefully that job site's ready for it. That's the biggest part, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. You guys have a lot of locations. So where all are you located? Obviously, you have the Minnesota branch. Do you have other branches as well?
Yeah.
Want
Bob
me to
is,
do it?
Yeah.
well, Bob is from our Philadelphia
Yeah,
office, but
right.
yes, go ahead, Bob.
So it's DC, Washington DC, Philadelphia, New York on the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have 3 offices in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be very happy I got all 3 of those right. Just so you know,
He was just beaming when he
shout
was
out
talking
to
about those.
Tennessee.
Here we
will,
go.
Yeah, make sure
Yep.
they hear me. And then we're all through Chicago. So in Chicago at Oakbrook is our main headquarters, and then Milwaukee, and then out here in Minnesota.
And so all the pieces and parts come from from which location?
Some of them all steel, and
Allsteel, yep.
that's in Muscatine,
Yeah,
Iowa.
yep, okay.
So that's our main provider. Yeah.
Amazing.
So we are.
So we've talked about what's next. Let's talk a little bit, like, who have been some of your mentors? I've talked to Barb about this before. Who have gotten you into the position, and how did you get there?
Oh gosh, yeah, I have a lot of gray hair, and so I've had sort of 3 careers. For 20,
Hey, we have hair dye. That's what's helping
Yeah,
ours,
yeah,
right? I got to get
exactly.
mine done. So
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
so do I. I started in the restaurant world, so I owned
Okay.
restaurants and developed restaurants, and started on the
Nice.
construction side and developed that way first. I then moved into general construction and did that for a time.
Amazing.
Which I loved, and sort of built that piece. And then I was really looking for sort of that next move, and for me, it was all about who I was going to work with and
Yes.
culture and fit.
Yeah.
I'd gotten sort of part of the career going like, yeah, I could do other things, but what do I want to do?
Right.
And there was in Philadelphia, the Henricksen branch just had some very dynamic leaders that I have known, and I'm like, I almost don't care what I do here, but I would
I just
love
want
to be,
in. I want to be a
wanna
part of the team.
this team.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
we had a cup of coffee, they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're not executing as well as we'd like to in walls. Can you help us there?"
Amazing.
And I'm like, "Oh, I've got this construction piece. And we sort of built this thing." So,
Yeah.
so that's how I got there. And yeah, I got to tell you, and so, I have several mentors, but that woman who ran that thing is Joan Waters, and she has been one of my favorite people of all time. She's just an amazing person
Yeah.
with amazing insight, and she'll let you fail, succeed.
Yeah. You have to learn
and
those
she-
hiccups and
yeah.
those roadblocks and things to
Yeah,
grow to
yeah.
where you are today.
Yeah. And then she's got this superpower that you will think you've figured out everything when you go to her with an issue, and she will ask the one question that is simple, should have thought about, and you
You
never
were
thought
prepared.
about.
Right,
Yeah.
yep.
But it clears. As soon as you answer that question,
Okay,
it
got
opens
it.
the doors. So she's one of my faves.
Amazing. So you guys have both had construction background, and now you're in this world where it feels like I can see the passion in both of you about all the products, all the things that you can do, and all the things that you can offer, because it just all flows together.
Yes, it's a very organic combination.
Yeah.
And what's funny about what Bob was saying about the restaurant world, I also had a short career in the restaurant world. So it's funny, I think it's
Smarter
a
than
progression.
That lets you see the other
Right.
side of things, right? It does.
It's solving problems,
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
is what that is. But yeah, and I did want to make a shout out because one of my mentors that as my career grows, I'm realizing was very important in my career was Barry Stoffel from Gardner Builders.
Yes. Yep.
Who's now the president. He really taught me a lot about commercial construction.
Yes,
Because
amazing.
I came from the residential world.
Yep.
And as you know, residential,
Residential and commercial are two totally different.
two different animals.
Yep. And when you have them both in the one day, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
turn that face and get to the next.
Yeah. So Barry was very instrumental in my growth. And then, just the fact that I was managing projects, not
Yeah.
installing physically myself,
Yep.
but managing projects that walls were going into. It was just a
But you
natural
are a part of the
progression.
installation because you help set it up and you're
Sure,
the one driving
yeah.
it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm managing that.
Yep.
Yeah. So the fact that I went from that piece to now the walls,
Yeah.
I think is very, it's a progression, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's very similar to Bob's, which is funny because I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go.
And Bob is one of my mentors. So
Yes. Amazing.
You need better mentors. So I need to introduce you around.
Yeah.
So.
What are you seeing as are there any roadblocks or any obstacles that you guys have been seeing in the last few weeks to few months that are ever changing that you really need to kind of work through to grow to get to the next level?
Yeah, I'll take nationally, and you go from there.
Yeah.
We are constantly watching what's happening with gas prices because
Yes.
there's freight.
I was
So
just
there's
gonna say that.
Transportation, yep.
freight and transportation is
Yep.
going to affect everything, and so we are constantly trying to manage that piece of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a really big one. I think another big one for us is, and like everyone probably is, what does AI look like, and what does that look like in the future,
Yeah.
and what stays sort of critical core to us around the relationship building
Yep.
and the consulting piece.
Being a
And what else
person.
can we go faster with, and how do we use it and leverage it to show better, do more, make decisions easier for the
Yes.
client? So I think those two are sort of where I'm
Yeah.
spending a lot of time.
yeah, I was going to definitely say inflation and the tariffs that,
Yep.
that recently were applied. But I think Allsteel has made a lot of strides to bring things stateside.
Yes,
So that we're
amazing.
not impacted like a lot of
Right.
other companies are.
Yep.
So that's what I see as one of the biggest challenges. And I see that we want to be sure that we're keeping up, right, in the industry and,
Yep.
and providing the best options for walls. And so I wouldn't say that's necessarily a challenge, but it's something that's always on our radar.
Yeah.
Well, I think the challenge piece of that, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge piece is, how do we as Henricksen talk to each other in different offices enough, right?
Right.
How do you not just get buried in Minneapolis,
Right.
where you can reach out to Tennessee or reach out and go like,
Right.
what is your law firms looking like? How
Right.
can,
What are you
solutions
seeing?
can I bring?
Yep.
And we do really well with that in the different offices, but that can always, like, we always are going like, oh, I wish I'd known that. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
how do we get that better and how do we figure it out?
For sure. And what people are seeing in Tennessee, they might need stuff from Minnesota, and just kind of
Right.
putting everybody's minds together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really important to be able to work with all the different locations, having them all be a process where you've got it set now. Like Minnesota's here, Tennessee's here, Iowa's there,
Yeah.
and just kind of putting them all together, but making them all feel like one.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you guys get the word out there, obviously, that you do walls now? I mean, obviously you've done furniture, now you're doing the wall piece, and letting up people see that Henricksen is all steel. What's the easiest way for you when you kind of work together?
There's different avenues for that. We have a great BD, business development team.
Yeah.
And we're out there in the market and we're letting people know that that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're throwing events. We're educating. CEUs are a big thing.
I think it's always
in the
getting out
design.
there, isn't it?
Getting
Right?
out
And just
there.
letting people know. Yeah.
Yep, communication and letting them know. And then also just really doing a great job at the opportunities and projects that we are
The
awarded.
word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about that the last podcast
Yeah.
is that reputation and really coming through for people and doing what you say you're going to do.
Yep.
That speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm about stacking wins, right? How do you
Yeah.
stack great projects
Right.
on top of each other and making sure? And I think the other piece is, and what do you do when it goes sideways or
Yeah.
something happens in the field in us? Like, who stands up and who says something? Like,
Yes.
when projects go well, you're rarely remembered. I can tell you
Right.
3 or 4 of my best
Yep.
relationships right now is when something went sideways and we
Yeah.
said, we got you. We got that. We will fix this. Like,
Yep.
we've got where we're going here.
Well, and word of mouth travels faster when it's something that goes wrong, but it's still traveling. So they're like, oh, Henriksen's all steel and they do walls. I didn't know that. Like,
Right.
whether it's bad or good, people are still hearing about it and they're still being known that it's out there. So it's still a growing process.
And being a great resource for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And being that partner. So even if we're not awarded a project and initially it's just an opportunity, being responsive.
Yeah.
And being there to answer questions and provide information. And maybe it's not a good fit. I
Right.
mean, there have been
Yep.
situations where it's not a great fit, but the fact that we were there and we helped them vet through that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we're honest and upfront. That
They'll know the next
transparency.
time around that comes through, or comparing apples to apples and why didn't we win that bid? What did I miss that maybe I can learn from next time, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
It creates that trust.
Yes.
And the trust is important.
Yep. So we've talked about what's next. We've talked about your locations. Are you going to be adding any locations, or do you have anything new in the mix other than the 3 in Tennessee that you're excited about? Or
Yeah, mum's the word, I think. At
Yeah,
the
right,
moment.
yeah.
Headquarters is.
I'm good right now.
Headquarters
Yes.
isn't saying much.
Right,
We, about
yeah.
3 years ago, they acquired the DC and Philadelphia
Nice.
office. So I'm fairly
Amazing.
new to the Henricksen side
Okay.
and the 3 in Tennessee. And so internally, they are,
Which is a lot right now.
Yeah, it's like the geese, right? Like
Yeah.
they're paddling really hard underneath to make sure all our processes are aligned.
Yes.
How do we get efficient? How do we do all those pieces? And we're supporting back out to all the locations. I would not shock me if we grew more. I think
Yeah.
Henriksen's poised to do that. I think they're strong enough to do that.
Absolutely.
But they want to make, again, I think they have the same measurements you do. Are we servicing clients well? Are we taking care of designers? Are we,
Yeah.
are we a resource? Are we consultative?
Are all the
enough?
I's dotted, the T's crossed,
Yeah,
and
yeah, are we
everybody's
doing the job right? Not
Yes.
just, there's no reason for growth's sake. That's not where we're doing. And I was shocked how much work Henriksen did to get cultural fits. So they spent a lot of
yeah.
time, supposedly, I didn't know what was happening, sort of just going like, is Philadelphia the right one for us? Like,
Right,
are we
yeah.
the right partners?
Is
Like,
this
can
gonna
we-
work?
Can
Yeah.
we merge? And I've got to tell you, I've seen lots of mergers go poorly or
Well, and there's
acquisitions go
times-
badly.
Yep.
And this has been, we're on different systems and that
Yeah.
kind of, we're clunky a little bit and
Yep.
we've smoothed all of that out. But the culture was never the issue, like,
Right.
which is
You never know with the
90% of it.
acquisitions and what you're getting yourself into as a company. Like, is it a good fit? Is it not a good fit?
Yeah.
We're still going to try and make it grow. And if not, we'll just change it to evolve the way we need to.
Yeah, and I mean, the first time I met Barbara, we hit it all. Like it was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
we've been working together for 10 years. Like we know what we're
Amazing.
doing, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah, this is great. So
Yeah, and the fact that we retain people.
Yeah.
You know, we have account executives at our office that have been there, and project coordinators that have been there for 30 years.
Amazing.
And
That
have
says something
only
for the company.
ever worked at Henricksen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you see a company that can retain people like
Yep.
that speaks volumes.
Right. It's not just I'm gonna be here for 2 years and go to the next place and the next place and kind of hop from job to job or location to location.
Yeah.
What do you guys think you would tell the people out there that are looking or thinking about getting walls? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say do it.
Yep. Right. Think about it. Come to us. No. Yeah.
well, I would say don't do it alone.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
immediately call Barbara. I mean,
Yeah.
like, because I know her well enough to be like, yeah, that's not the right fit, or that is the right fit, or
Right.
can I get you an early budget to see if it even fits into what you're
Right.
thinking of, or can I get you an early design? Like, she can help you walk through sort of a stage of questions that will get you there. So,
And if she doesn't have the team, she has other people to reach out
she's
to that
got
do. Yeah.
great resources.
Yep.
she's got wonderful
Yes.
resources to get to the stuff they need. But Barbara, I think, can help without any undue pressure of just helping you ask the right questions
Mm-hmm.
before you go into an office building going like, I love this, I need this, and then,
Yeah.
put this in. Like, that's not where we operate.
Right.
We'd much rather make sure it's a good fit.
Nice, amazing. So if your customers move from location to location, let's say they're moving out to Tennessee, do you still handle that account because it's yours, or do you have
Absolutely.
your team help too, but you're behind them with them?
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Henricksen is we do try to make that right fit.
Nice.
Once it fits,
Yes.
then we keep it, right?
Absolutely,
So
yep.
our account executives and Bob has a project that's in Minnesota, even though he's from the Philly office.
Yep.
So yes, we do
Good.
keep
'Cause
that
people
connection.
kind of worry about that bond. Like once you've built that trust and rapport with someone,
Yeah.
you try to hand it off to someone, they're like, wait, what? Like, I'm not
Just
sure about
having to
that. I
get-
can just go to somebody local there then, and yep, nope.
Yeah.
And the nice piece is, you're right, we do have someone local that will show up.
Yes.
Boots
And
on
do
the
those
ground.
pieces.
Yep.
Yeah, boots
But I
on
can
the
still be
But
your
your phone
contact, and
call
I'm
is
still
still to
you.
Barbara.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So we've talked about a lot of good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about something fun.
Okay.
Travel. Where have you traveled lately? Obviously, you're doing traveling with work, but outside of work, have you done anything good?
Okay. Yes. So my wife is an insane traveler, so I
Yes.
I
Good.
go most times with her. But most recently, the fun thing for me was I played soccer through college and semi-pro for half a minute.
Yep.
So I went to Kansas City
Amazing.
and saw a World Cup game there. So
Yep.
that was
Oh,
super
fun.
fun. And
Yes.
it's a bucket list for me.
Who played and who was?
So I have followed the Netherlands for years. And it
Okay,
was the
yep.
Netherlands versus Tunisia. And
Yep.
so we went and spent the weekend, and the Netherlands won.
There you go.
And then they
there
fell
you go.
apart
So it's
later,
even
but
better.
that's okay.
But yep.
They won when I was
They
there.
won when you were there.
That's
You
all
brought
that
the
matters.
luck.
Yeah. And Kansas City's a great town, so it was
Yes.
fun to see. So
Yeah.
now I'm afraid I'm going to owe her a trip to like Paris or something. Like,
Right.
I think
Here's
it's
the background.
coming.
Like I'm building it up. They need to win again, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah, something's coming. I'm afraid.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's
Yeah.
been great. No, we love to travel.
Amazing. What about you? Have you done any traveling?
So you know, all the kids I have.
Yeah, I'm in the boat. Yep.
So for me, right now in this stage of my life, it's less about vacations and it's
Yeah.
more about trips.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the
Yep.
difference?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So trips are really mostly to Michigan because
Yeah.
that's where my husband's family's from.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing. We're taking trips
Yep.
to Michigan.
But trips for you and I are like vacations for other people because of
Right.
everything and all the things that are tied into it.
Yes. But I do get to do something fun. In December, we talk about culture and how we work together with people. Our showroom manager, Honey Rebar, she is getting married. So
Amazing.
And she's getting married in the Virgin Islands.
Oh, wow.
Fabulous.
So I was
Lovely.
invited to the wedding,
Oh,
and so
very
we're
cool.
going.
Yay.
Is that
How
kid
fun.
free?
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
kid-free.
even better.
Oh.
There's your vacation.
So I'm
yes.
actually taking
Are you
a
coming back?
vacation.
I need to know.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
she's
know.
gonna have her own little
I don't
island there.
know.
She'll
I
be
mean,
good. She'll be
I'm
able to
gonna
fly
say yes,
in. Yeah.
but let's see how it goes when I get there.
Yes. Do you guys do, like, obviously you do a lot of expos and nationwide things. How often do you guys get together as a full group? Do you do that?
Yeah, not enough, but yes.
Yeah.
Usually it's once a year or so.
Yeah.
There's a
Company
huge
culture is
national
there.
show
Yep.
in Chicago, and
Yep.
so a lot of us see each other there.
Yeah.
And then we're pretty good as a group getting on either teams and other stuff, but
Yeah.
also, and we're pretty good at getting together sort of regionally too. It's
Yes.
interesting, like DC, Philly, New York will see each other probably
Yep.
more. I know Tennessee sees each other.
We
But
just
sort
went to
of as a group.
Wisconsin for
Yeah,
Yeah.
their grand opening.
Oh,
'cause
nice.
They
Okay,
had
good.
they moved to a different location, and they have a beautiful showroom there.
Amazing.
Experience centers. So a bunch of people from the Minnesota office went to Wisconsin. So
Yeah.
we do things like that.
Do you guys
quite
go
often.
to the Iowa place or location a
Yeah.
lot just because that's where they're building and creating and you have to stay up and see how everything's done and
So Allsteel's nice, yeah.
Yes.
So two things. One is they have a very nice showroom and experience center in
training,
Fulton
too.
Market in Chicago. So
Okay, nice.
salesy side sort of heads there. The
Yep.
PMs and other people and people like Barb and I who want to kick the tires.
Yeah.
We'll sneak over to Muscatine,
oh,
Iowa.
absolutely. You have to.
So
you
you
want to
could-
see that and understand it and
We
yeah.
love cornfields.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And they were great. They did a great 3-dayer, and several of our project managers went when
Yeah.
Dimension was launched and
Nice.
showed how it was built, sort of the behind the scenes of
Yep.
that. And then they got to build it too.
Which
So
is the part of selling. It's the kicking of the tires. It's to know when someone comes in, like
You have
you're
to know
going to
what
have
you're
that
selling.
that question, that engineer that wants to know the back
Yeah.
end of it and how it's done. So yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So it's fun to see them. And Allsteel's a great partner that way. They are really good at getting people out to us as
Mm-hmm.
well. So if we have a job, they have technical project managers that will come as well. And
How
make
long has
sure-
that partnership been around for? The Henricksen and
Oh, wow.
Allsteel.
So I know my old firm was the first Allsteel partnership, is my understanding. Joan would tell me that no one can disprove her, so she's taking it, and it was in the 40s.
So now they're listening and they're like,
so
okay,
that-
here
so
we
that-
go.
Yeah, so
Yep.
yeah, just now for Joan's going, oh gosh,
Oh,
don't
no.
say that. But I think we were one of the first there. I think Henricksen has been an Allsteel dealer for a very long time, but
Yep.
they became a main dealer, I think, right in 1999 or 2000.
Amazing.
And then we've been the number one dealer for a long time.
Very good. It's very
and so, yeah.
pivotal. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fun. Like, it's fun to brag about it, but I think
Yeah.
it's really fun for clients because Barbara's got people she talks to at a level. We
Yep.
have CEO level talking to. So
Absolutely.
it's a true partnership all the way through. We have financial people talk to each other.
Well, and it's not
PMs.
one separate place. Everybody's
Yeah.
a one-stop shop. Like
Yeah.
here, I have to send you to my Allsteel people now,
Yep.
or I have to send you to the design team. We're all one.
We're all
Yeah.
one.
Today in the Minneapolis office, we have two of the main players from Allsteel looking at the dimension
Yeah.
install
Amazing.
that happened, just
Wow.
to checking it out, making
Yeah.
sure it's right, and we're going to go back and get to talk to them a little bit, which will
Yeah.
be fun to see them
That's
live.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
So they really are present in our
That's good. That's
relationship.
important.
Yeah, yeah, and always a resource.
What have you seen for the growth around here? Anything?
Oh yeah, I definitely think. I mean, I remember a certain demountable system that came out that we all know back. I think I first learned about it back in 2016, and that
Yeah.
was the only one. Now we've got manufacturers all over.
Yep.
But seeing glass office fronts and demountable walls
Yep.
on more and more plans now. I mean, it's
Yep.
becoming
Oh,
a
absolutely.
regular thing.
Which is good. That's what you want, right? Yep.
Well, and I think people are realizing not just the aesthetics of it, but the acoustics.
Yes.
And the reconfigurability of it. So it's just a great product. It's a great solution. So I do really see a lot of growth there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's mental health plays into a lot of it, and
yeah.
people don't think that has a tie to it, but it really
huge.
is huge.
It's
and having
huge.
the sound barrier, having everything there, and that's on the forefront of everybody's mind right now. Like we need to have
Wellness.
this wellness room, and we need to have this experience, and we need to have what's accommodating for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we call it a full solution.
Yeah.
Well, I think the healthy piece is so interesting, right?
It
Like,
is.
I grew up in Nero. It was like, oh, shut up and deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
right? Like,
Suck it up,
right?
buttercup, and let's just do it. Yep.
Let's do
Yeah.
this. And the world's gotten infinitely more complicated.
It has.
So, I think about your kids all the time going like, wow, this is going to be interesting for them. Like, I'm old
Yep.
and can't figure out my passwords. What,
Right.
what's their issue?
And they don't
right?
want to talk to you. They just will text you or send you a message or
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, just figure it out.
Trying
What's
to
so,
call.
Yep.
What's so interesting, right? Like, I walked into a friend of mine who has kids, and there were 3 of them totally engaged with their best friends, all playing a video game, not talking to each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're texting and doing other things, but they're not connecting
Yeah.
like the 3 of us might have
Right.
back in the day.
That
right?
communication is still really, really needed, and people want that more today than they've ever wanted that before. If you can go in and have a conversation with someone face to face and show up and be that person, that human connection, they're going to welcome you in like there's no tomorrow. Yes. Yeah.
It really is important, that connection, because I think when COVID happened and we got away from that,
Yep.
I think it had a huge impact on how people do business
Yeah.
and the wellness piece.
Yes.
And so I think I heard a statement on the news where it says our generation is not my generation.
I know, but I know what you're saying. Yes.
The young
yeah,
generation,
Me, you're talking about me.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my
Your
generation.
generation.
Thank
Bob's
Yes.
generation.
Yep.
Good, yeah.
is the loneliest
It is,
generation.
absolutely.
Even though they have the most technology and ways to connect, they're very lonely.
Yep.
So getting people back into the office, butts and seats,
Yeah.
is really what we want to see. and I think it'll have a positive impact on.
And it helps bridge that gap between all the different generations too.
Yes.
Like, yes, you were doing everything working from home and you did everything via Zoom. And the older generation are used to just only doing things via pen and paper. Let's put everybody together and get them all together back to one so they can all communicate.
so they can see the value in
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because my kids are I don't have any kids. My house was quiet during COVID. I could work at home all day.
Yeah.
I have enough friends. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
good.
like,
right?
I'm good. Yep.
I'm good. But we have several young people in our office that were craving sort of the mentorship too piece,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yep.
can you guys all come in? Because I want Bob dragged me into that meeting with a client that I probably don't deserve to sit in, but I want to see, right?
Yes, yep. They wanna get
how
the
do I-
hands-on.
Yeah,
Yep.
or how do I
Yep.
walk over to design and see how they're doing something.
Yeah.
Like there's that mentorship that I think that they do crave and understand
Yes.
and need. So
Well, and I mean, even that generation to the younger one, like the putting everybody together and just understanding how the whole project gets done, I'm sure. Like
Right.
from start to
Brainstorming
finish
ideas.
and everything. Yes.
Yes, because both views are very important. All the views are very
Yeah.
important.
Yep.
So that collaboration piece and getting people in
Sometimes
the office.
working smarter and harder is smarter, not harder, and is a nice way to do it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we appreciate having you guys on today. Is there anything that you would tell your younger self that you have learned in the process?
Oh wow,
Good question, right?
it's a
Yeah.
great question.
That's a thinker.
I'll go first. I'll
Yes,
do that.
yes, do that.
So I think two things sort of come to mind right away. One is I never listened to my grandmother, and she was really good at saying 2 ears, 1 mouth. So just listen more, kind of thing. I wish I fail more. I think failing more earlier is you need to be able to do that, and I think it's
Yes.
fine. I think nowadays, if I was young now, I think there's a lot of things that make you prevent you from failing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good to skin a knee
Yep.
to
Yeah.
bump into something.
Be able
do
to fail a
something.
test, do what you need to do,
Yeah, I
and
think you learn from that, and very few things are life threatening when you fail. Like there are some
We're
things
not
we
saving
need.
lives.
Right,
There
yep.
are some bumpers you need to make sure you don't go over, but
Yeah.
I think failing.
well, you
is good.
learn from failing. Like
Yeah.
if you fail once and you try to do the same thing over and over and over again, then there's a problem with the process, not so much with what you're failing on. Like, yeah.
I would agree with Bob. I don't mean to sound boring, but the listening piece is so important to stop talking and listen and really hear what people are saying, both in business and personally. And I think putting your ego aside,
Yeah.
being humble, I think that's a huge thing that will help you in your personal life and in your professional life. I would say when I first got into this industry, because it was so important to me to do a good job and to be seen,
Yeah.
I had way too big of an ego and too much pride, and now looking back, I would have kept my mouth shut more, listened more, and really put my ego aside and been a lot more humble. So that's, yeah.
Well, I think a big part for people listening is listening to give an answer and actually understanding what the person's saying and getting down to that deep. I mean, that's customer service. That's in everybody's role every day. What exactly do you want? And when you're not listening to hear them, you're just listening to reply. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Huge difference.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for coming on today. How can
you.
people find you and where can they get a hold of you?
So I'm here in the local market,
Yep.
and you can call me. I know not a lot of people pick up the phone and call anymore, but you
They
can
need to.
call me.
Yep.
You can email me. You can come see us at our Experience Center, which is right in the North Loop. But yeah, I am also on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I am always responsive and excited for a new opportunity.
Amazing.
Great. Barbara tells me who I should talk to, so call Barbara for
Call
me.
Barbara and get a hold of Bob.
No,
Yep.
no, I'm around.
Say, is this Bob? And it's going to be Barbara.
Probably easiest nationally is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You'll see me, and I do a lot of posting, and I'm there, and I have all my contact information there. So
Amazing.
LinkedIn's probably easy.
Thank you guys so much for being on. We hope you continue to shine a light and have a great day.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Yep. See you guys later.